The fiancée my family arranged for me is Liu Ruyan, the new leader of Jingquan. She is 28 years old and holds $1 billion fortune. She has a cold face that makes people dare not look at her. And I, number 10, am a top Playboy famous in the Forbidden City. My ex-girlfriend list is even longer than the Riverside scene at Qingming Festival. Our blind date felt like a scene from a classic movie. Liu Ruyan only looked at her watch. She got straight to the point. I heard that you have a lot of friends out there, especially women. I'm too lazy to deal with a flirt. I nodded and corrected her. It's not just a lot, it's a whole crowd of people. She smiled coldly and left. No anger, no questions. She didn't even look back at me. It was pure indifference. I couldn't believe it. I've lived for 29 years, and it's the first time I've seen this expression on a woman's face. Most women usually listen to me. They either cry or smash a cup. Even if they don't just turn a blind eye and leave. It all started with my grandfather. With no evidence to back it up, he claims he's been retired for 10 years. He doesn't care about anything in heaven or earth except for finding me a partner. He threatened to cut off my pocket money while slamming his hand on the table. I said, "Grandpa, you only give me 800 yen a month. You call that pocket money?" He replied that it was meant to hone my character. I said, "Well, you succeeded. Now I see that 800 yen is as clear and pure as water." Grandpa's face turned black. "If you don't go on this blind date, you won't even get that 800 yen. So, I went. Liu Ruyan's situation was even more miserable. Her mother, Su Fanghua, told her, "You're 28 years old and not married yet. The chairman's seat will go to your uncle." But Liu Ruyan's uncle can't even read a newspaper. Su Fanghua added, "You are all alone. Marry someone and you'll have a helper." Liu Ruyan asked, "Are you marrying off your daughter or recruiting an employee?" Su Fanghua replied, "It's the same thing. The higher the price, the better." The two elders got together, and in one shot, a temporary engagement was set. Liu Ruyan and I were forced into the status of fiancés. We only communicated privately and occasionally appeared at the same venues in public. Our overall interaction was as formal as a United Nations meeting. What I didn't know was that as soon as Liu Ruyan got into her car, she called her assistant, Bai Ningbing, to thoroughly check all my background details. Bai Ningbing asked, "President Liu, are we doing a background check or—" She noticed Liu Ruyan's slightly red ear and wisely chose to shut up. I didn't find out about this until much later. At the time, I was just playing video games at home. Then I was dragged out by Jiang Tao to go drinking. Jiang Tao is my childhood friend. He's also the only one in the city who dares to openly call me stupid. Raising his glass, he asked me, "How do you feel about Liu Ruyan?" I said, "No feeling at all." He countered, "But your heart skipped a beat. You told me so on WeChat. Did you forget?" I put down my glass because it was just about lunch. "You were just talking about the salad you had for lunch." I decided to change the subject. "Who won the game today?" Jiang Tao just stared at me. "You didn't even watch the game." I noticed there were no updates in my friend circle. Meanwhile, Jiang Tao and Bai Ningbing crossed paths at a family dinner. The two exchanged a look, sharing the exact same realization in their minds. The atmosphere between them felt heavy. They clearly didn't dare to lock eyes for too long. A bet was set up that night. Jiang Tao bet that I would fall in love first. Bai Ningbing bet that Liu Ruyan would take the lead first. They wagered a whole year's worth of afternoon tea. The game was named The Secret Observation Diary of Two Blind Lovers. The two subjects under observation were Liu Ruyan and me. Of course, our awareness of this bet was absolutely zero. And with that, Jiang Tao sent out the very first group message. The first piece of information. After Jiang Tao went home, he washed his face 3 times. He claimed he was having an allergic reaction. "According to my judgment, he was just staring in the mirror to see which angle made him look more handsome," Bai Ningbing replied. The next piece of information. When Liu Ruyan asked me to check number 10's background, her ears were red. A standard business investigation doesn't require blushing. While the two assistants played their game, the official marriage contract was issued. The stage was officially set. The public sympathized with Liu Ruyan. They lamented that she had to sign a marriage contract with a Playboy loser who only knows how to flirt. I didn't bother to explain. Instead, I posted a photo of me playing table tennis on social media. I added a caption. "I heard I'm getting married. The ping pong ball cried for me first." The post got 3,000 comments. 2,999 of them were people scolding me. The very last comment was from Jiang Tao. He wrote, "The ball didn't cry, I didn't cry." I gave him a like. Then I went ahead and liked all the other 2,999 comments too. Every single person who insulted me got a like. Jiang Tao called me immediately. "Are you a masochist?" I replied, "I'm just driving engagement. I'm boosting activity in the comments section." Jiang Tao fired back. "The only thing you're boosting is the probability of getting beaten up." I followed up with another post. "Thank you all for your concern. The ball and I are doing great." The comment section exploded all over again. My grandfather saw it and called to scold me. "Can't you stay quiet for just 2 days?" I said. "Grandpa, they started scolding me first." Grandpa barked. "Then what do you mean by liking the comments of the people insulting you?" I said, "To encourage them to keep creating content." Grandpa slammed the phone down. "This is our family tradition." When they want to curse you out but don't want to violate their own refined upbringing, they just hang up on you. I got hung up on 4 times in a single day. Grandpa did it twice. My mom did it once. My dad did it once. My dad was drunk when he called. He said, "Son, if the Liu family divorces you, don't bother coming home." I asked, "Then where am I supposed to live?" He said, "Didn't you claim to have a whole crowd of women outside? Find one of them." Then he hung up. Later, my aunt shared a post in the family group chat asking, "What does this post mean? Does he really have that many girlfriends, or is he just joking?" Nobody replied. 10 minutes later, my mom finally replied, "Don't ask. If you ask, the answer is don't believe it." Staring at the message on my phone, I suddenly felt like laughing. When a person's life is so absurd that even his own mother refuses to defend him, well, that's a kind of talent in itself. Meanwhile, Liu Ruyan's pursuer, Chen Zhe, took the opportunity to ask her out for dinner. Chen Zhe is the young master of a listed company. He is Liu Ruyan's old rival in the business world and a self-proclaimed hopeless romantic. He's exactly the type of guy who sends 999 roses every year on her birthday, and then posts on social media claiming it's just a friendly blessing. At the table, he leaned in and said, "You deserve someone better than him." Liu Ruyan slowly put down her chopsticks without even looking at him. Chen Zhe asked, "Do you even know your own worth?" Chen Zhe's smile faltered. "What do you mean by that?" Liu Ruyan was already standing up, her tone as casual as if she were talking about the weather. "It doesn't mean anything. Let me through." She walked away without looking back. There was no further explanation. For her, deeming someone unworthy of an explanation was the ultimate statement. Bai Ningbing was waiting for her in the car. She asked, "Did Chen Zhe try to pledge his loyalty again?" Liu Ruyan sighed. "Every time he professes his devotion, I just feel exhausted. It's not anger, it's just that deep sense of tiredness again." Bai Ningbing replied, "President Liu, he probably thinks he's just being romantic on a date." Liu Ruyan replied, "What he thinks has absolutely nothing to do with me." Bai Ningbing wisely chose to shut up again. Having hit a brick wall with her, Chen Zhe turned his attention to me. He cornered me at a restaurant, walking over with a glass of wine in his hand. His smile was even faker than his tailored suit. "Young Master Shi, I heard you and President Liu are engaged." I casually replied, "Yes, we are." Chen Zhe sneered. "Do you honestly think you deserve her?" I actually thought about it for a second and said, "I don't." Chen Zhe was stunned. He clearly didn't expect me to admit it so easily. Then I continued, "But you don't deserve her either. The only difference is she chose me." Chen Zhe's face instantly twisted. I patted him on the shoulder. "Don't worry, buddy. I can introduce you to some great girls. What's your type? Elite athletes or overseas returnees?" Chen Zhe slammed his glass onto the table and walked away. Zhang Tao walked over, shaking his head. "You deliberately made fun of him." I shrugged. "I was just helping him face reality." Zhang Tao sighed. "While you were busy helping him face reality, his hatred for you just doubled." I didn't care at the time, but I would soon find out. That Zhang Tao was right. In the dark, the cracks were starting to show. Meanwhile, Bai Ningbing began keeping tabs on my daily routine. He claimed it was standard business intelligence for Liu Ruyan, but he was secretly tracking my movements. He accidentally discovered that I went to 3 specific places every week. A children's welfare center where I taught kids how to play basketball, a community center where I played chess with the elderly, and an inconspicuous office building where I spent hours on end. He took photos and sent them back. Liu Ruyan stared at the pictures for a long time without saying a single word. Bai Ningbing carefully probed, "President Liu, what level does he play basketball at?" He added, "I saw him get crossover dribbled by a group of 8-year-olds 3 times. They even knocked him down once." The corner of Liu Ruyan's mouth twitched slightly. "Useless," Bai Ningbing continued. "We investigated that office building. He registered an investment firm there. It's used to fund early-stage startup projects. The sole limited partner is number 10 himself. As for the financial return on the account," Liu Ruyan interrupted. "How much?" Bai Ningbing replied, "Negative. He has never liquidated his shares, nor has he ever claimed a dividend. On paper, it looks like a total net loss." Liu Ruyan asked, "What about the actual status of the projects he backed?" Bai Ningbing answered, 7 of them survived. "And 3 of those are now ranked in the top 5 of their respective industries. He just chooses not to cash out, which keeps his personal account in the red." Liu Ruyan fell silent again, but the nature of her silence was completely different this time. Before, it was pure disdain. This time, Bai Ningbing felt she was genuinely confused. It was the look of, "I thought you were a total joke. But it turns out you're not. I just don't want to admit I was wrong." Recognizing this shift, Bai Ningbing silently raised the stakes of the bet in his heart. Later on, Liu Ruyan crossed paths with Xiao Rongyu at an industry forum. Xiao is the founder of a cutting-edge AI chip company and a regular on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. During their conversation, Liu Ruyan casually brought up my name, and Xiao Rongyu's reaction was entirely unexpected. She laughed out loud, a deeply genuine and amused sound. "So you're number 10's fiancé. Looks like someone finally caught him," Liu Ruyan asked. "You know him?" Xiao Rongyu nodded. "He was the sole investor in my angel round. Back then, every major institution laughed and said a woman making chips was a joke. Only he put up the money. He told me if it's a loss, it's on me. If we make it big, you can just treat me to some street barbecue." Liu Ruyan pressed further. "Rumor has it that you're one of his ex-girlfriends." Xiao Rongyu nearly choked on her coffee. "We didn't even hold hands. He's just all talk. For some reason, he loves making people believe he's a total scumbag." Once, a reporter caught us grabbing a casual dinner, and he intentionally flashed a finger heart at the camera. I ended up trending on the hot search for 3 days straight. I called to scold him, but he just said he was helping my company with free PR and told me there was no need to thank him. Liu Ruyan asked, "And then?" Xiao Rongyu replied, "And then he actually leveraged that buzz to help me secure our next round of financing." There was another woman sitting nearby who had been listening intently. She couldn't help but chime in. Her name was Ye Qianshui. She was a financial reporter, famous in her field for digging up deeply buried secrets. Pushing up her glasses, she said, "Hearing you say that makes me want to do a profile on him even more, but his background info is abnormally clean. All his charity donations are completely anonymous. All his investment projects are anonymous too. Either he really does nothing at all, or he is hiding it on purpose. I bet it's the latter." Xiao Rongyu pointed toward Liu Ruyan and teased, "Well, then you can ask his fiancée for clues." Liu Ruyan didn't answer, but she silently committed the name Ye Qianshui to memory. A very subtle change passed over Liu Ruyan's expression. Watching her, Xiao Rongyu smiled even more brightly. "You'll get used to it in the future. The guy is a professional. It just happens that everything he does is anonymous. Entirely anonymous." After Liu Ruyan returned home, she opened the memo app on her phone. It read, "No. 10. Likes to eat sweet and sour ribs, afraid of thunder, allergic to cat hair." Beneath that, she added a new line. "A good person. Confirmed." Then she switched over to browse number 10's social media. Her screen paused on his table tennis photo. Her fingertips hovered at the top of the screen. She didn't leave a like, nor did she scroll away. She just stared at it for a long time. When Bai Ningbing walked in to deliver a file, she quickly locked her screen. Liu Ruyan stopped what she was doing so fast that she looked like she had just been caught red-handed. Bai Ningbing pretended to see nothing. But he was quick. He had already caught a glimpse of the text in her memo. Together with the detail about President Liu staring at number 10's feed, he sent the intel straight to the betting group. Zhang Tao replied with a thumbs-up emoji and a text, "Current score, 0-1. The lady takes the lead." Also, please note that her discovering his fear of thunder and cat hair allergy falls completely outside the scope of commercial research. Bai Ningbing replied, "You're right, let me update the score. It's 0-2. Meanwhile, I was busy stirring up trouble on my end. I went to the coffee shop downstairs from Liu Ruyan's company and loaded a card with 10,000 yuan. In the notes section, I wrote, "For President Liu's exclusive use. Everyone else gets garlic flavor." The whole company went wild. The receptionist posted on her feed, "Our President Liu's fiancé just treated the whole company to coffee," alongside 9 thumbs-up emojis. In reality, only Liu Ruyan could actually use the credit, but that didn't stop the whole company from thinking I was a total eccentric, though a very generous one. Liu Ruyan called me immediately to question my actions. I played dumb. I must have gotten the wrong place. I meant to go to the milk tea shop next door." Liu Ruyan flatly countered, "The place next door is an infirmary." I hesitated for a second. Then I was definitely mistaken. Liu Ruyan said, "The infirmary was torn down 3 years ago. It's a flower shop now. You don't even know what's next to the shop where you opened a membership card." I stammered, "Well, my sense of direction isn't very good." Liu Ruyan fired back. "The note you filled out when charging the card explicitly specified President Liu. Your bad sense of direction seems remarkably accurate when it comes to specific people." I opened my mouth, realizing my lie had grown so massive I could practically park an aircraft carrier inside it. My cell signal is getting really bad. And I'm going to hang up now." Liu Ruyan pointed out, "You're currently connected to Wi-Fi." I hung up anyway. Zhang Tao laughed so hard he rolled right off the sofa onto the floor. "What do you even call a disaster like that? Ignoring the facts?" "No, this is called completely disregarding reality. Is this how you utilize your vast experience to chase girls?" I smashed a pillow right into his face. "I was doing corporate public relations." Zhang Tao clutched the pillow, unable to stop laughing. "Corporate PR? Next door to an infirmary?" I threw another pillow at him, but he ducked. To be honest, if you had just used your usual flirting experience and said you wanted to buy her coffee, Liu Ruyan might have actually agreed. I countered, "I didn't actually want to buy her coffee." Zhang Tao rolled his eyes. "You loaded 10,000 yuan onto that card. That was a corporate PR budget," I insisted. Zhang Tao stared at me like I was an idiot for 3 whole seconds, then wisely chose to shut up. He took a screenshot, closed our chat, and immediately went back to his score update, 1-2. Number 10 finally scored a point. Even though his method was completely clumsy, Liu Ruyan wasn't staying idle either. One day, I posted a photo of some sneakers on my social media feed. The very next day, a pair of those exact same limited edition sneakers appeared in my car. Attached to them was a card written by Bai Ningbing. "Leftovers from the company's annual meeting lucky draw. Don't overthink it." I turned the card over, examining it closely. Zhang Tao watched me and scoffed. "You've been staring at that card for 20 minutes. Are you sure you're not overthinking it?" I shoved the card into my pocket. "I was just studying the paper quality," Zhang Tao mocked. "Paper quality?" I replied. "Yes. This material is excellent. It would be perfect for making business cards." Zhang Tao scoffed. "Just give it a rest." Meanwhile, I quietly pulled the card back out to look at it again. Zhang Tao noticed. "And you've already checked it 3 times. Without another word, Zhang Tao pulled out his phone. He pretended to check the news, but he actually kept his camera pointed at me for 15 seconds. I didn't notice a thing. "I'm just inspecting the paper quality," I muttered. Zhang Tao stood up to leave. Before heading out the door, he turned around and delivered his final line. "Paper doesn't naturally smell like lilies. That's Liu Ruyan's signature perfume. You literally told me that last time." I felt like throwing the card right out the window. Meanwhile, Bai Ningbing posted an update in their betting group. He posted a picture of those shoes on his feed, and President Liu placed an order for that limited edition colorway that exact night. There are only 50 pairs worldwide. She had to pull favors from 3 major industry contacts, and it took her 4 hours. Zhang Tao chimed in. Our guy isn't slacking either, no. 10 looked up the business licenses of every single shop downstairs from President Liu's company, just to find the absolute most expensive coffee shop to load that card. He researched it for 2 whole days. Bai Ningbing replied, is the IQ of these two only high when they are scheming against each other? Zhang Tao corrected, to be precise, it's only high when it concerns the other person. Then came the ultimate misstep. I called Liu Ruyan to discuss a standard business cooperation between our 2 companies. It was purely professional. When she answered the phone, her voice sounded raspy. She cleared her throat and coughed. The moment we finished discussing the business matter, my mouth moved faster than my brain. Within 0.3 seconds, I blurted out, did you catch a cold? You should drink more hot water. Then I abruptly hung up. Staring at my blank phone screen, I desperately wanted to claw those words back. Drink more hot water, the 3 most useless cliché words a guy in China could possibly say. And I'm supposed to be number 10, a seasoned playboy. The number of women I've supposedly been with is longer than Chenze's entire business portfolio, and yet I told her to drink hot water. I wanted to find a piece of string and hang myself. I shot a message to Zhang Tao. I just told Liu Ruyan to drink more hot water. Zhang Tao replied instantly, are you serious? You're doomed. I texted back, I know. Zhang Tao replied, you should have been specific about the hot water. What kind of water? At what temperature? How many milliliters? You're supposed to be a smooth talker, not an automated customer service robot. I replied, can you please stop rubbing salt in my wound? Zhang Tao said, let me help you fix this. Next time, tell her, I had someone send over some hot ginger tea for you. It shows you're attentive, proactive, and most importantly, it gives you a perfect excuse to follow up later. I thought about it seriously. I realized his advice was actually solid. Too late, I texted back. I already hung up on her, Zhang Tao texted. Then just call her back. I replied, and say what? Hey, I suggest you use premium mineral water to boil that hot water I just mentioned. Zhang Tao texted back, you'd better not call. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Liu Ruyan had just hung up the phone. Bai Ningbing carefully spoke up. President Liu, you're smiling. Liu Ruyan immediately covered her face. I am not. I'm just analyzing the financial report. Bai Ningbing looked down at the file in Liu Ruyan's hand. She was holding it upside down. Not only was it upside down, it was actually the report from the previous quarter. Pretending to pour some water, Bai Ningbing seized the moment when Liu Ruyan wasn't paying attention to snap a quick photo of the upside-down document. Back in the group chat, Zhang Tao calculated the tally. The score is tied at 1-1. Ambiguous signs 1-4 or maybe 3-3, but solid, undeniable progress, still 0-0. When is this game going to enter the elimination stage? Bai Ningbing replied, what's the rush? Let the bullets fly for a while. Little did they know, a bullet was about to hit everyone right in the face. The turning point arrived. Having been repeatedly rejected by Liu Ruyan, Chenze was absolutely furious. He bought off a gossip media writer named Wang Tuteng, who happened to be my former drinking buddy and a notorious corporate mercenary in the city. Wang Tuteng is the type who sings the praises of whoever pays him the most. People think these well-informed financial insiders are experts, but they're really just high-level paparazzi. He compiled my past few years and dug up photos of me with various women. Bank transfer records, surveillance clips, and screenshots were packaged overnight and sold off to a major marketing account. The very next morning, the entire internet exploded. I was the #1 trending topic. Headlines read, Jingquan Corporation scumbag fiancé exposed. The secret harem of young Master Shi, Jingquan's elite playboy unmasked. I was jolted awake by a phone call from Zhang Tao. He said only one sentence, look at the hot searches. I opened my phone to find my screen covered with my name and photos of 4 different women. The internet sleuths identified them almost instantly. The names included top actress Shen Yuchu, AI chip queen Xiao Rongyu, Michelin star chef Li Xia, and top corporate attorney Su Baizhou. Each title was more ridiculous than the last. Netizens began writing essays, calling me a keyboard warrior billionaire who collected high-profile women. Liu Ruyan, wake up, they posted. The harem of Jingquan's top playboy is more crowded than an emperor's in the Qing dynasty. I stared at the screen for 3 seconds. A keyboard warrior? I don't even own a desktop computer. And more crowded than the Qing dynasty? The imperial harem had 3,000 consorts. I was photographed with exactly 4 people. This article must have been written by a math teacher. But I couldn't bring myself to laugh because of the women in those photos. Every single one of them carried deep past scars that they had fought hard to overcome. Liu Ruyan's corporate stock suddenly plunged by 2%. Her board of directors began putting on the pressure. Her mother, Su Fanghua, called demanding to cancel the engagement. Liu Ruyan sat silently in her office, watching the online mockery unfold. Suddenly, she asked Bai Ningbing a question that caught him completely off guard. Where is he right now? Bai Ningbing blinked, confused. You mean number 10? Liu Ruyan nodded. I want to hear his explanation. Bai Ningbing replied, his phone is turned off. Liu Ruyan said nothing more. And indeed, I had turned off my phone to smoke a cigarette up on the roof. When Zhang Tao finally tracked me down, he noted that I wasn't my usual cheerful self. Why aren't you issuing a public statement to explain this? I flicked the ash from my cigarette. Explain what? If I publicly clarify that they aren't my girlfriends, the media will start digging into their personal lives to find out who they really are. Shen Yuchu's past struggles with corporate casting couch exploitation will be exposed. The details of Li Xia being abused by her ex-husband will be unearthed. They've finally built stable lives for themselves. I am not going to tear open their old wounds just to prove my own innocence to a bunch of strangers. Jiang Tao fell silent. I stubbed out the cigarette. Let them scold me. Everyone already thinks I'm a playboy anyway. Adding scumbag to the list won't kill me. Jiang Tao studied my face for a moment. What about Liu Ruyan? Aren't you terrified that she'll actually believe the rumors? I looked up at him. To be honest, I am terrified out of my mind. But if she chooses to believe them, then it just proves that we were never meant to be together in the first place. Jiang Tao sighed. You really are the most genuinely decent guy I've ever known. I replied, thanks, and you really aren't the brightest. Later, Jiang Tao relayed our conversation directly to Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing said, I'll pass this along to President Liu. But Jiang Tao stopped him. There's no need. Those women have already taken matters into their own hands. Shen Yuchu was the first to speak out, posting a lengthy statement on her personal social media account. No, Ten is not my ex-boyfriend. Before my breakout role, when I was completely unknown, he was the only person willing to sit with me for 3 months straight just to help me run lines. When my agency tried to blackball me, he was the one who hired top legal defense to get me out. While the internet is busy calling him a monster, he's actually volunteering as a basketball coach for orphans at the welfare center, even though his basketball skills are honestly terrible. Xiao Rongyu forwarded the post with a smile. She added, to sum it up, this guy's only real flaw is that he absolutely refuses to take credit for the good things he does. He clearly hates making money. When he invested in my startup, he claimed he fully expected to lose it all. Now that our company is valued at $300 billion, he has never once asked for fame or recognition. But he did mention barbecue. It's been 3 years and I still owe him that street food dinner. Next, Li Xia posted a photo of me accompanying her to court during her divorce. He pulled me out of absolute hell. Anyone calling him a scumbag had better check if the kitchen knife in my hand agrees. Seeing the phrase kitchen knife made me burst out laughing. Li Xia is a world-renowned 3-star Michelin chef. Her kitchen knives are all custom-forged masterpieces. Su Baizhou's legal team immediately issued a barrage of formal lawyers' letters, targeting every single marketing account spreading the rumors. I have prepared 20 lawsuits. Do you want to see how fast we can shut you down? Next to step up was Ye Qianshui. Ever since she met Xiao Rongyu at the forum, she had been quietly digging into number 10's background. Just as the smear campaign exploded, she found herself holding an absolute goldmine of evidence. Instead of a text post, she released a meticulously produced investigative video. Using public records, she fully reconstructed my secret charity map from the past 5 years. She revealed that I had anonymously built primary schools in the Chisuo mountain area and quietly funded a legal aid foundation for domestic violence victims. She showed that I had angel invested in 12 female-led startups without ever demanding a payout. The video was titled, The Playboy, Auditing His Accounts for 5 Years. Not a single penny of his wealth is dirty. The testimonies of these 5 prominent women went viral on the exact same day. Nobody organized it. Nobody asked them to. They simply decided that enough was enough. The narrative completely flipped. No 10 was no scumbag. The overwhelming wave of positive coverage completely buried the original slander 3 times over. The tide had turned. Chen Ze and Wang Tuteng instantly became the laughingstocks of the entire internet. Wang Tuteng faced defamation charges from Su Baizhou, and Chen Ze's business partners cut ties with him. Meanwhile, Liu Ruyan's corporate stock didn't crash. It actually surged. The general public now declared that marrying number 10 would be the best investment of her life. The comment section did a total 180-degree turn. Can I delete the comment where I insulted number 10? He isn't a playboy, he's a living saint. Netizens jokingly tagged Liu Ruyan, hold on to him tight. We beg you on behalf of the whole internet, don't let him go. The most hilarious part was that people dug up my old table tennis post. My poor ping pong ball became the most tragic meme on social media. I had been insulted for 3 days, and my character was vindicated in 3 days. Chen Zi's camp completely disintegrated. The digital footprint of his payment to Wang Tuteng was exposed by Ye Qianshui. Once the investment community saw it, they realized he was just spending money to fund malicious PR. Several institutions pulling capital from Chen Zi withdrew overnight. Wang Tuteng's fate was even worse. Su Baizhou's elite legal team was ruthless. The cases they took on boasted an unprecedented success rate. Wang Tuteng not only had to issue a public apology, but also faced massive financial damages. It was rumored that he drafted 3 separate apologies. Su Baizhou rejected them all, commenting that his tone lacked sincerity and making him rewrite them because of a minor phrasing error in the second paragraph. Over at Liu Ruyan's office, Bai Ningbing noted that after she finished reading the statements from those 5 women, she sat alone for a very long time. She didn't cry or laugh. She just sat in profound silence. Then, she did one thing. She opened her phone memo and deleted the word confirmed right after a good person. Only 2 words remained. Good person. Bai Ningbing pretended not to notice, but his hands were quick. A screenshot of the memo was instantly dispatched to the betting group. Jiang Tao replied with 6 words. This game is basically over. Bai Ningbing replied, not yet. We're still missing the final step. Jiang Tao texted, which step? Bai Ningbing countered, the 2 of them actually have to admit their feelings to each other. Otherwise, it doesn't count. Jiang Tao sighed, with how stubborn those 2 are. I think my future grandson will be the one collecting this afternoon tea bet. They might never voice it. Jiang Tao then called me directly. Hey, you're the #1 trending topic again. But this time it's completely positive. I replied, I know. Jiang Tao asked, how does it feel? I muttered, I'm not used to it. It's literally the first time in my life people aren't yelling at me online. Jiang Tao pressed, are you going to thank those ladies? I thought about it and said no. Knowing me, the moment I open my mouth, I'll probably just ruin the mood. I'll wait until the dust settles, then treat them to some street skewers. Jiang Tao laughed. Xiao Rongyu already mentioned you owe her 3 years' worth of skewers. I smiled. Fine, we'll go get hot pot instead once I'm married. Jiang Tao agreed. Deal. By the way, do you want to know how Liu Ruyan reacted? My fingers froze over the screen. Jiang Tao continued. Bai Ningbing said that after she read those posts, she locked herself in her office for 40 minutes. I asked, and then? Jiang Tao replied, then she called Su Fanghua back. Her mother asked her one more time if she wanted to call off the engagement. My heart started racing. What did she say? Jiang Tao answered, just 2 words, no thanks. My hand trembled slightly as I held the phone, but I was determined never to admit it. A cool guy doesn't show a tremble. A cool guy only posts cryptic updates on his feed. Reading what Shen Yuchu and the others had written about me, to be honest, my eyes felt a little stung. But I would never admit it. A cool guy doesn't get emotional. A cool guy only makes others emotional. That night, I went up to the rooftop to have a drink. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Liu Ruyan. Where are you? I typed back, rooftop, why? Liu Ruyan instantly replied, come down. I hesitated for 2 seconds, wondering if I should go change into something better. Then I decided against it. A cool guy doesn't care about dressing up. I walked down the stairs. She was standing entirely alone next to her car. No Bai Ningbing, no driver. She had driven here all by herself. The nearby streetlight stretched her shadow long against the pavement. I only found out later that she had sat parked downstairs for 10 minutes, just trying to build up the courage to send that text. After hitting send, she had rested her forehead against the steering wheel, taken a deep breath, and stepped out. Why didn't you tell me the truth? I asked. About what? She looked at me. Everything. Those girls, those charity projects, everything you've actually been doing? Why would you rather let the whole world drag your name through the mud than tell me your fiancé? I thought about it for a moment. Because I was afraid you'd think I was just making excuses, running to you to brag that I'm actually a good guy. Seemed pathetic. Liu Ruyan stared at me intensely. I smiled again, but this time, my smile lacked its usual armor. And honestly, I was afraid your feelings for me would change. She asked, isn't it a good thing to change my mind? I replied, if you accept me only because you feel obligated to a good person, then it doesn't count. I hesitated, suddenly lost for words. This was the first time in my life I felt completely stripped of my smooth talking in front of a woman. I want you to like me, and I don't want it to be justified by some logical reason. Just like me for who I am. Actually, forget it, that's all, just like how I like you. I can't give you a rational explanation for it, but I just can't help it. Liu Ruyan didn't offer a traditional reply. Instead, she flatly muttered 2 words. Coffee card. I was stunned. What? She continued. That 10,000 yuan coffee card. The infirmary next door was demolished 3 years ago to build a flower shop. Did you really think I didn't know you did that on purpose? I opened my mouth to speak, but she didn't give me a single second to recover. And the sneakers. There are only 50 pairs of those worldwide. I never expected you to buy that company lucky draw excuse. I just wanted to see if you would be foolish enough to believe it. And you actually did. You believed it so much that you sniffed the card 3 times. I stammered. Wait, Jiang Tao told you that? Liu Ruyan countered. Bai Ningbing told me. Jiang Tao leaked it to Bai Ningbing. In my head, I instantly downgraded Jiang Tao from childhood best friend to my worst enemy. Liu Ruyan's voice trembled slightly. Yet she was still trying to maintain her composure. No. 10, how long have you been playing dumb? I shifted my weight. How long have you been playing along? She didn't answer. Instead, she took a decisive step forward, stood on her tiptoes, and gently leaned her forehead against my chin. Then, just as quickly, she stepped back, got into her car, and slammed the door shut. As she rolled down the window, her voice drifted out softly. I actually fell for you on the very first day. I gasped. What? She said, on the day of our blind date, when you were leaning back in your chair laughing. The engine started, and her car pulled away into the night. It turned out that from the absolute beginning, both of us had just been lying to ourselves. A massive smile broke across my face. I started laughing so hard my sides hurt, eventually squatting down on the pavement to slap my thigh. Finally, I looked up at the night sky, took a long deep breath, and pulled out my phone. I shot a message to Jiang Tao. The game is over, I lost. But Jiang Tao was 1 step ahead of me, replying in a second. You two both fell on day 1. It's a dead tie. Split the afternoon tea bill evenly. I fired back. How do you even know she fell for me on the first day? Jiang Tao replied, Bai Ningbing texted me 3 minutes ago. He said President Liu is currently sitting in her driver's seat. With her head resting on the steering wheel, covering her face with both hands, smiling like crazy. I grinned and typed, are you two literally running surveillance on us 24/7? Jiang Tao wrote back, it's not surveillance, it's a field study, pure academic research on human behavior. I replied, academic research my foot, you guys are ridiculous. Jiang Tao then sent one last text. To be completely honest, Bai Ningbing and I both lost our bets. We were wagering on who would crack first. Who knew you two fell at the exact same moment? Right on day 1. I've been alive for nearly 30 years and I've never seen a pair of matching idiots like you. I didn't bother to reply. I just pressed the phone against my chest, kept squatting by the roadside, and smiled like an absolute fool. The final notification in the betting group was a photo sent by Bai Ningbing. It showed Liu Ruyan in her car. Her forehead was resting against the steering wheel, her hands covering her blushing face, a beautiful smile stretching across her lips. The caption read, "Two blind lovers have finally opened their eyes." Zhang Tao chimed in, "So who's paying for our afternoon tea for the rest of the year?" Bai Ningbing answered, "Make the two blind lovebirds foot the bill." Zhang Tao instantly agreed. "Perfect. Also, I think it's time to change the group name." Bai Ningbing asked, "To what?" Zhang Tao typed out a new title, "Wedding Preparations for the Two Blind Lovers." When I saw that message pop up, I immediately left the group chat. Zhang Tao pulled me right back in. I texted, "Change the name back." Zhang Tao replied, "No way." Bai Ningbing added, "Agreed." Suddenly, Liu Ruyan herself typed a message. I had no idea when Bai Ningbing had sneaked her into the chat. She sent just one sentence, but its warning was crystal clear to everyone. "I don't object to the name, but if you two keep pushing your luck, I will compile this entire chat history and forward it to your families." Zhang Tao panicked. "As of today, the betting pool is officially terminated. Let's start a new wager. Who will be the first one to cry at the wedding? The loser covers afternoon tea for life." I quickly typed, "I won't cry." Liu Ruyan replied with a single question mark. I immediately backtracked. "Let me reevaluate." Bai Ningbing chimed in, "Score update on stubbornness, 199 to 200. President Liu maintains a 1-point lead." Zhang Tao mocked, "No, 10. You literally haven't won a single argument against her." I left the group chat again. They pulled me back. I left. They pulled me back again. By the third time, Zhang Tao threatened, "Keep leaving and I'll send something directly to President Liu. I'll send her the video of you dramatically reading her card." I froze. Liu Ruyan typed, "What video?" Zhang Tao teased, "A corporate secret." I typed as fast as my fingers allowed. "There is no video, it's fake news." But Zhang Tao ruthlessly dropped a 15-second clip into the chat. It showed me holding her card, turning it over repeatedly like a total romantic wreck, with Zhang Tao's obnoxious laughing booming in the background. Liu Ruyan didn't send another text, but Bai Ningbing reported that the moment she watched it, she flipped her phone face down on her desk. It took her a full 5 minutes to turn it back over. When she did, she texted a single word: "Amusing." Right then, I decided that Zhang Tao and Bai Ningbing were officially blacklisted from my life. But looking back on everything, from our very first awkward blind date up to this crazy moment, I realized something. I used to think the script of my life was just a ridiculous, chaotic comedy. A notorious playboy, a cold female CEO, a couple of meddling best friends, an absurd bet, and 8 million strangers watching the drama unfold online. But standing here now, I think this script is infinitely better than anything I could have written, because she is my leading lady. And as for the ending, well, she already knows. She knew it from day one. She loves me. And that is the end of our story.